Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Tyranny with me, Bring It On. The first thing we're going to do is talk to Verse about her side quest.
Couldn't help but notice the bird from Cacophony.
Verse smirks as you approach, scrutinizing you with her mismatched gaze. I received a missive from the Archon of Secrets.
Obviously. Unless you've got a secret admirer among the Bloodhounds. I've always found the whole sunburn from within look a bit of a turnoff, but whatever gets your pants juice flowing. But seriously, you're not the Voice's favorite person in the tiers. This missive must be good.
You think he's found one of your sister's killers?
Wait, what? He found one of the shits who killed my Furies? Let's pack up and go.
Who is this person?
I don't know exactly. There's someone who helped murder my sisters in arms. But we know where to find him, right? Let's go pry the whole story from him.
Well, there's something else. These strange symbols on the back.
There's a lot to love about spycraft. The trickery, the blade work, keeping your senses awake, balancing on the edge between confusion and discovery. Memorizing the Archon's childish pictographs is not my favorite part.
She examines the parchment, frowning.
Malfora. She's one of Harshion's people. Bit boring, but gossipy in the way that pays. We should be able to find her along the road to Lethion's Crossing.
And she's just going to trust us.
The Voices gave us the passphrases that will get Malfora to open up to us. When we find her, let me do the talking and everything should run smooth as sea glass.
She rubs her hands together.
This will feel good, Finder. Wildly, incredibly, stupidly good.
The Archon said an interest in your revenge doesn't seem suspicious to you.
Are you asking me if I trust the Voices of Nerat? Archon of Secrets, Spy Master, Arcane Pillar of Green Smoke and Flame, Immortal Magician, Eater of Minds, and Connoisseur of Perversions? Of course not. But if it's some convoluted trap, I'll have your back and you'll have mine, right?
Alright, let's go.
Lead the way.
Alright, well, let's do this one before we do Effigy. It's a merchant crossroads. Not actually a crossroads, it is well traveled by soldiers, farmers, and peasants and as merchant caravans. No one is entirely sure how this stretch of winding, lightly wooded road came by its name. Some suggest it's for the bandits that haunt the area, offering the forking path between a merchant's rings and their lives.
Yes.
Well, there's Malfora. Let's do it once around before we speak to her.
Sorry, I can't.
It's a very small area. Okay. I'm not open for business, friend, and I'm not looking for trouble. Abasila and Lethion's Crossing, expects me with this shipment shortly. We don't want to keep her waiting. The merchant watches you warily as you approach, heavy pack hanging from her shoulders. Soft and well fed, this one. But look at her stance. She can handle herself. First takes the woman in with a long, appraising gaze. Excuse me? The merchant blinks. I glare silently. You must have me mistaken for someone else, I assure you. Oh, fine. The road to Starward is paved in iron. Verse sighs. The farms of Azura are mostly air. She nods with relief. I'm not gonna say anything. Say nothing. Yet their papers aren't aflame. Charming. Sorry about the formalities. The word got back to the Voices that I was cutting corners on security. Let's just say I prefer my tongue in my mouth and my bowels in my, well, bowels, I guess. She shakes her head. I know you. You were the governor of the crossing, right? I doubt you remember me. Traders come and go. I'm Malfora. She opens her hand to you, palms out. So what does the Voice in Nerat want us to know? Not one for foreplay, are you? Verse shakes her head. Right. Before glances between the two of you, before I settle on Verse. The man you're interested in calls himself Crocus. No idea whether that's what his mother named him. No idea whether that's what his mother named him. I showed up in the crossing a few months back, picking fights and looking for rings. He ran afoul of the garrison, and they stomped the pants gravy out of him. That quieted him down for a bit. When he started casting around for work again, he boasted of his victory against the Band of Furies during the war. Kyros' peace protects Scarlet Furies. You think a story like that would scare off any potential employers. But Asa's never been the brightest ring on the rope. She shakes her head. That's right, because they keep the rings on like a piece of like binding or twine, I guess. Who is Asa? A cloth dealer, originally out of the Azure, runs a circuit from the crossing to the Brothers and down into the calmer edges of the Blade Grave. He hired Crocus and a few others last week, claiming he needed the extra protection for his daughter. Why had he brought his daughter to the crossing in the first place? Overlord only knows. To verse. Thoughts. Crapsticks. It's not going to be easy to find a caravan between here and the Blade Grave. Verse curls her lower lip below her uneven teeth. Luckily for you, I'm very good at what I do. Now Forrest smiles and produces a scroll from her pack. He usually goes to Stalwart by way of the Ocean Spire, but he's cutting east to make time and avoid beasts. She wraps the knuckle in a thick black line. Your best bet is to wait for him here, at Hunter's Respite. She points to a position just south of Haven. What can you tell me about Hunter's Respite? A small stretch of wilderness far enough off the trade road to dissuade raiders, but near enough to avoid losing much time. The isolation recommends it, but not much else. Honestly, the Respite's starting to get too well known as a stopover. I give it a year before thieves start hitting it. She sighs. I'm supposed to wait for him and hope he shows up. If you want to catch Crocus, yes. Asa's taking the southern road out of Haven, so he'll almost certainly stop there. He's never made a great secret about it being his favored resting stop around these parts. And what's your role in all this? Just who are you exactly? Mostly I'm open ears. Came up in the bastard tier, but made for Haven when I could leave home. She twitches, then waves off a bug that buzzes past you. I started hauling goods between the crossing and Sunder, eventually expanding down to the Brothers, even as far as Ardent in a good year. The conquest was bad for business. By then, though, I heard and knew a lot more than I did before. Thought I could turn a profit swapping information with the Archon. I thought right. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. Hail Kyros. She straightens and quickly salutes. Well, thank you, Malphora. Yeah, thanks. When we find this bastard, we'll open him from balls to chin. You now know everything I know about this so-called Fury Slayer. If you have any other questions, you'll have to ask someone else. Malphora bows informally at the waist. Are you a real merchant? She is not a real merchant. So not far from the main trade road south towards Stalwart, but removed from most of the territory staked out by the disfavored Legion and Chorus gangs, this wooded glade has become a popular resting location for caravans since the invasion of Kyros' forces. Well, let's go check it out. Well, there's Crocus. As before, let's map out the area first before we go speak to him. Sentinel. As you approach the bronze-clad caravan guards, they look up as one, leaving Dyson rings on the ground as their hands move to weapons. Who goes there? Actually, know what? It doesn't matter. Turn back the way you came, stranger, or things will get bloody with a quickness. I see some caravan guards, but not the caravan. Why are you over here? I don't see how that's any of your business. He glances over his shoulder towards the north and back to you. We're paid guards. We get paid to guard. We don't pick where we guard. And we don't ask why about the where. That made sense, right? His brow knits and he looks to one of his fellows. The other guard shrugs. I understood perfectly. Of course you did, Bronze Brain. You have any questions in need of answering, you speak to Crocus. Find him up the hill to the west. Okay, we're looking for Crocus. Well, he's not over here, is he? We don't know him by sight, you idiot. Shut her up before I... Shut her up for you. He winces. We need to speak to the person in charge. Tell us where they are, and we'll leave you be. Get back the way you came. I've already read that. Alright, I'm as good as gone. No reason to attack these guys for no reason. I wonder if they get hostile if I go around them like this. It's a quick save, just in case. What? Are you stupid? I told you to screw it. Blades out, everyone. Send these dummies back to Kyros in pieces. Well, it's not exactly what I wanted to have happen. Let's move Barrick forward. And then buff everybody up. Whoops, no, that was wrong. There we go. So I wonder if this is going to automatically make the other group hostile as well.
Will do.
For the queen!
Alright, let's try and keep Lantry alive. He's getting focused. Which I'm not a big fan of. Alright, let's use Sweeping Death first. Lantry. Down with defenses first. No, let's crowd control them first. False pit these two guys.
I feel like
Then Verse knock this guy down. Followed by Fury's Embrace. That should kill him, but just in case it doesn't, we'll throw a Skewer in there as well. The main character is close to leveling up, so I'm just going to throw out a bunch of spells and hope that he hits level 18 during this fight. I'm going to Bond of Honor Lantry with Barrick. Only for the damage reduction. I don't much care for the stats. Alright, Lantry, they're both knocked down. Get out of there, buddy. Save yourself. Alright, taunt these two Barrick.
I will aid you.
And you know what, Barrick? Taunt this one when you're done with that.
If I had kids, they'd be feeling that one.
bleed out, you little shit.
You learn something every day.
Alright, that went very well. Really happy with that fight. Pages of the Screed. What? These ragged-edged scraps of thin vellum appear to be copied pages of the Screed, a philosophical text popular among the poorer classes within the tiers. The Screed supposedly vilifies the nobility as rapacious laggards, only possessed of their position and influence, by dint of circumstance. Worse than honest criminals, they'd be resisted at every opportunity. Only a handful of people could actually read the Screed. Most recited it by approximate memory from someone else, and over the years. Dozens of variations of the Screed appeared, each with their own idiosyncratic rants regarding whichever acts the particular author wished to grind. Alright, well, 2 level ups will take care of that first. Verse. Let's give you some more health. I'm gonna do Killing Spree. So after a kill, Verse will strike twice with their attacks for a short time. For 15 seconds. And then main character, we're gonna get Two-Handed Mastery 3. So 9% chance to strike 2 times, 6% chance to strike 3 times, and plus 15% two-handed weapons damage. Just a ton of damage on my main character. Oh, and accuracy. Can't even read what that says. Okay. Hey Binder, look at this. Pulse lifts bolts of fine cloth from a crate in the back of the cart. Now wear its hair. Has to be freshly woven. Ace of Petals cloth, right? So where is he? She frowns at her fingertips, then rubs them together. Dried blood. Keep on your toes. This thing's higher than the spires. What did this other thing say? A ransacked cart seems to have been hastily hidden behind some foliage. It contains several crates filled with bolts of unsoiled cloth and unspoiled food. Alright, let's go speak to Crocus. AKA the Frogman. Let's see where this is taking us.
Sorry, I can't.
A tall, thin man in bronze and leather scrutinizes your approach, hand on the hilt of his blade. That's far enough, stranger. Oi, Crocus, we've got company. His voice comes out low and rough, a tears-accented growl. A massive man answers the lookout's cry, his approach marked by a pronounced swagger. Crocus rests a massive axe on one broad shoulder. His hair seems to have migrated largely from his scalp to his chin, and the veins at his temples stand out against his deeply tanned skin. I couldn't help but notice the ruckus down the hill. I assume you're responsible for that. Besides Cario here, I've got an entire squad behind me. Experienced warriors all. So I'm left wondering, who the heck are you? Shout menacingly. I'm here for Crocus. The rest of you have this one chance to leave with your guts still inside you. Two of the mercenaries share a look of concern before backing away from the rest. Motherless beasts. A twig snapped underfoot as two of Crocus's supporters turn and flee. He turns back to you, cheeks flushed with rage. I like how he repeats the same thing. Besides Cario here, I've got an entire squad behind me. You know, besides the two that just ran away. A point of verse. I'm Fatebender Donald, but more importantly, this is verse. Now I'm about to adjudicate your head open. Justice for my Fury sisters. She grins hungrily. Oh, crap. To arms, to arms. The mercenary blinks rapidly as recollection sets in. Alright, well, first things first.
I'll do it for the this one is under my protection.
Alright, Lantry, let's do... I could do Passage of Hours. I haven't used that once since I got it. But it is a very good ability. Let's actually back him up a bit and increase damage and haste Barrack. Then healing aura on Barrack as well. Can I get past these guys? Well, that's crappy. Alright, well, screw it. I guess do it right here. And hope for the best. Alright, Sunder and Thrust. I'm not going to get the rest of my buffs up here. 109 damage. Sweet. Wow, I hit the whole squad. Well, that's awesome. Alright. Good time to use Unravel Minds, followed by False Pit. Barrack, taunt everybody. Keep things simple. And let's see. I first go ahead and skewer this guy. Should be a kill. And if you can, Furies embrace this guy.
I think my wisdom.
Hold. Hold for the love of Kyros. He clasps his chest, blood oozing between his fingers. Hold like you held when you and your friends killed my freaking sisters. For the love of Kyros indeed. Her words escape her clenched teeth in a half-hissed breath. She slips a small knife from her boot, and a flash of bronze opens the fallen man's cheek. Hold. Please wait. I'm not proud of what I did back then. I'm a changed man. I swear it by the Overlord. I've got a wife now, and she's asleep right over there. He points back towards the nearby tents and bedrolls. Oh. I bet you they had a child. That's what that blood was on those, on the cloth. Earn an honest living by the darn axe. I protect licensed traders. You're not proud. You've been boasting about it all over Haven. What? No, you don't understand. I couldn't find work otherwise. I thought maybe I could win a few fights in the crossing to prove my mettle, but the freaking guards there jumped me as a group. So I had to tell people about the Furies. It was talk about your sisters or starve and let my wife starve. He looks diverse. Is this better than starving? Her boot comes down hard on his ankle, eliciting an audible snap. The sound dissipates into his scream. Overlord, help me. I never wanted to hurt anyone. It was my darn job. I swore an oath to an Apex Lord because I wanted a bed and food. Not because I thought Kyros would ever come to the tears. He sobs. The oath didn't just dissolve when your armies passed the gates of judgment. I had to kill conscripted tearsmen by the gang. And yes, I helped kill your friends. His head droops, a pink froth of sweat, mucus, and blood dripping from the tip of his nose. Not friends, jerk. Sisters. Sisters, then. It wasn't my idea. Katorius had the location. Sick bastard wanted to cook them with his flames. Orisa, she wanted to hunt Furies. Wanted a head on a pike she could wave at her enemies before battle. I was just there following orders. You say Katorius cooked people. I never actually saw him eat someone, but I'm sure he did. You could see it in his eyes when he looked at you, that hunger. He was a sage, so maybe that explains it. Overlord knows what those scroll screwers do in their libraries. Certainly not cannibalism. Capitulating with scrolls has been frowned upon for centuries. We took one of you alive, you know. What the heck are you talking about? Her eyes widen. After you disappeared, realized that one of your Furies was still alive. The big bald one. Katorius took her, never saw her after. He's silenced by Verse's fist. Liar. She punches him again, and again. Where is Katorius now? I don't know. I swear by everything and everyone, I'd tell you if I knew. He probably died in the Edict of Fire. Served him right if so. If not, well, he deserves this treatment more than me. Where can we find Orisa? Like I said, Orisa burned with the fire of revolution. After Apex fell, the crazy woman couldn't lay down her spear. Last I heard, she was down in the Blade Grave, joined up with those stalwart crap heels killing disfavored in the Overlord's endless storm. Here. He fumbles with the case at his side before offering a well-soiled parchment in his blood-slicked fingers. Torn strand. This was from her. She wanted me to come find her and take up arms again. I didn't write back. I'm changed. I love the Overlord. Praise Kyros. Yeah, some orders you don't follow. I've sworn loyalty to Kyros. Go hunt Orisa, go kill Katorius. They're your true enemies. They're the ones who deserve your justice. He tries to push himself away from Verse, but his heel skids uselessly, plowing furrows in the bloody muck. Don't worry, we will. Grasping his gore-matted beard, she jerks his chin upwards and places the knife against his exposed throat. Please. The bubble of pink mucus expands and contracts in his left nostril. Remain silent. This one's for Seeking Sheath. She rams the blade into his eye, twisting it roughly and digging it deeper into his skull as he screams. He bucks and spasms wildly. Uncharacteristically silent, Barrick watches with crossed arms. Thanks, Faintbinder. She proffers you a curt nod.
Orisa's next. Let's go find her.
She turns to go, but comes to a stop instead. She lets out a quiet sigh and looks back to you.
Seeking was special, you know.
Well, tell me about her.
Seeking was all dynamo. Short, with hair like moss on a stone and skin the color of the night sky. Laughed at everything, even insults.
She smiles wistfully.
She never stopped moving. If we camped, she paced the tents or palisades, always pushing us to get on.
She lets out a low chuckle.
Part of it was the gambling. People would stop taking her bets after a day or two. The first time she says she can put a javelin in an apple at 100 yards, a man puts rings down. The second time, he's willing to go double or nothing. The third, that's when he stops betting.
Laugh. She sounds amazing.
Kyros' crooked cock, was she?
She echoes your laugh.
Crazy thing about seeking? It wasn't raw talent. She practiced that shit. The spear work and the javelins, practiced every hour she wasn't sleeping or on assignment. She'd thread the sky with 3 or 4 javelins and dance towards her foe with a spear longer than she was tall. She'd knock a soldier's feet out from under him and let the javelin pin him to the ground. That's her name. Her spears found their marks as if they sought them.
I thought it might be a sex thing.
That too.
She laughs.
Her name meant more than the spear play. Seeking always sought, always looked for new things, new experiences, new stories, new men, new bits of lore. In summer, she'd collect stinging insects, fill thin clay jars with them, and smash them against her foes. No fight was ever even for Seeking. You either got the drop, or you got dropped. Thanks. You know, for listening.
She shakes her head roughly, as if clearing the fog from it.
Let's go. This oath-breaking scumsack won't hunt herself.
Yeah, I figured talking her out of revenge isn't a good idea. Based on her origin story, what she told us about her family and stuff, she's a killer. She...
Sorry.
Remorse isn't in her nature. The woman lies in the bedroll. Her breathing is slow and heavy. Oh crap. Burst peers down on the sleeping girl. Her slightly curled hair is strewn haphazardly about her caramel brown features. She drops to a knee, checking over Crocus's captive. The girl's eyes flutter open, staring blankly, the pupils reducing her cloudy brown irises to thin rings. Father. Where's Father? Her eyes close again, and her muscles remain entirely limp. Ace's daughter. What do you think? Burst lays her down gently, then stands up looking to you. Hand me that pillow. No hesitation. Okay, no. We're gonna choose option 1. I will leave her some supplies, enough to get her back to the crossing. First nods. The two of you set a few skins of water and some dry rations near the girl's prone form. There's fruit and grain in the cart too, and cloth to carry it, assuming she has any appetite after seeing the slaughter. Let's go, Fatebinder. I'm sick of this place. Burst shakes her head.
On it.
Hand me that pillow. Oh man, some of the options in this game are hilarious. I kind of wish I would have kicked that one Oathbreaker off the mountain spire in the beginning. Alright, Torn Strand. Before Kyros' Edict of Storms wiped it from the map, a small town known for its masterly embroidered textiles grew here. Nothing remains of it now save its memory. Long time for that. Alright, well we can get started in this area. Nope. Okay, well, looks like we're committed. That happens way too often. There in Torn Strand hangs entirely unstirred by any breeze, as if the now broken Edict of Storms had exhausted the area's propensity for wind. That storm instead resides in you. A haggard group of soldiers in tarnished bronze await you. One man steps forward, pulling off his helm to reveal a grime-roughened face of deep umber cross-hatched with pale scars. It is engraven ash as Harlot, the Fatebinder. The soldier growls and tightens his grip on his weapon. The leather squeaks beneath his fingers. I am Diocles, son of Tyrannos. It'll be both honor and pleasure to remove your motherless head from your shoulders. Which one of you is Orisa? What could someone like you possibly want from Orisa? He glances back at his fellow soldiers. They look among themselves as his attention returns to you. My friend here wants to have a few words with her. Wants to have words with her. A fairy wants words with an unbroken. Blood more like. He looks verse over. He's not wrong. Alright, we're here to kill her. Way to spoil the surprise, Fatebinder. Guess she grins hungrily. I suppose your court judged her guilty of some capital crime in absentia. His warriors, recognizing something in their leader's tone or stance, began closing around him, readying weapons. I go to the void before I'd allow a whore of Kyros to take anyone who has blood for stalwart. To the void then. What say we kill them all and figure out which one it was Orisa afterwards? First looks to you. The dead are difficult to interrogate. Are you kidding me with this crap, Binder? When he search the bodies for clues or whatever. Let's show them why we're called the Unbroken. His soldiers let out a furious clarion and stormed toward you. Well, it's not what I wanted to do right now, but that's fine.
Send me your champion.
Nope, get back. Need to get our buffs out first.
On it. Beneath me.
Damn thing can pierce cloth.
Alright, that works. Slaughter this guy real fast with verse. And move on to the rest of them. Let's finish buffing up first. Then Lantry, you can come up here and use Unravel Minds, and then Haste Barrack and Healing Aura on Barrack. Wasn't as effective as I was hoping. Oh, I didn't knock him down first. That's why.
I'm on it. Damn.
I messed up my rotation there. Alright, Barrack, go ahead and do a big taunt for me.
Thing can pierce cloth.
And Lantry, heal him up a little more.
Take me if you can.
Alright, Sunder and Thrust.
I got it.
Dodge, little shit. Count on it.
Alright, and Unravel Minds again.
This weapon is useless.
Damn thing couldn't pierce cloth.
Casual 116. Well, not casual. I am using an ability for that. Alright, so we knock him down.
You got it.
I'll take care of it.
Alright, thrust. That should kill him, I think. At least I hope so.
Pity you won't enjoy this as much.
Alright, before we... Son of a gun. Crap. None of these people were there when my sisters died. Verse surveys the carnage wearing a grimace. Check these bodies with me. Maybe there's something here that will help. You search Diocles' remains, shifting his dead weight, ignoring the drip of gore to reach his belongings. Your hand comes away wet, clutching a roll of parchment in a tightly wrapped bundle. What have you got there? Verse peers at the wet bundle you plucked from the corpse. Read the note. You break the seal and unroll the missive. The parchment is lettered in clean hand, language surprisingly clear and crisp for a tearsman. Diocles, whoever succeeds him. I came to Stalwart with little I didn't need for the fight. Only these gloves, a trophy from a skirmish long past. Should I fall at Trapper's Junction, please see to it that they return to my sister Clea at our family's homestead at River's Break in Apex. Tell her to use them well, that I wish I could have been there to deliver them myself. Thank you for this, Arissa. I show Verse the note. See for yourself. She locks eyes with you, snatches the parchment and looks it over. With a shake of her head, she thrusts the scroll back towards you. You gonna read it, or leave me guessing? Arissa wanted these gloves given to her sister, Clea, of River's Break. Did you say gloves? She swipes the leather package and tears it open, revealing a pair of gloves supple leather, edged with a series of sharpened bronze blades. Crap, I've missed these. You know these gloves. They belong to one of my Furies. Verse replaces the wrappings with care. So Arissa had a sister. A sister for a sister, then. There's a certain poetry in it, right? Are you suggesting what I think you're suggesting? We need to find this Clea. She must know something about who Arissa ran with during the war, right? And who knows? Maybe she'll turn out to be someone in need of a good stabbing through the face. Verse smiles, her eyes glinting. Alright, keep it in your pants, Verse. I'm not sure what the it is in this circumstance, but no promises. Come on, screw this place. She gestures towards the road. As you turn, a gauntleted hand rests on your shoulder. A moment binder. What is it, Barrick? I've known Verse for a few years now. She's always been excitable. This is different. She seems rabid, heedless of danger, like the worst of the course instead of the best. He shifts with the sound of blades grinding together. I noticed that. What I'm asking is that you keep an eye on her, for her well-being, rather than just yours. The massive man rolls his shoulders with a shrug. Though if Verse were my soldier, I want her as collected as possible. That may never be an option. Thanks, Barrick. I'll do what I can for her. Thanks for hearing me out, Fatebinder. Barrick nods, patting your shoulder.
Right.
Alright, well, screw it. Since we're already here, let's finish clearing out this place. We'll head towards, River's Break in the next one. Ooh, another diamond. Alright, I'm going to call the episode here. Next one we'll head towards River's Break and confront Clea and continue Versus side quest. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.